Hey guys, I watched the new Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie, and it sucks! I used to be a huge Diary of a Wimpy Kid fan, keyword being used to. Because after the mess that was Double Down, I pretty much started to lose interest in the series. Even though I would collect every book, it wouldn't be because of the fun of joy of reading a new Wimpy Kid book, but rather because it felt mandatory. But before we move on, here's a quick recap of my thoughts on all of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies so far. These three, good! This one of the worst films I've ever seen. Now this one, I can see where they're going for, but it just doesn't work. But now we have the new one, Rodrick Rules, and what do I think of it? I'm just gonna say it, this film's worse than the first one. First of all, the story here is really pitiful. It tries so hard to be like the original book that it loses what made it so good. What made the live-action Rodrick Rules and the rest of the original trilogy so good was because they took the story of the books and put them in a 3-act structure. Mostly due to the fact that Jeff Kennedy never really wrote the books with a 3-act structure in mind. But in here, it tries so hard to be like the original book that it loses focus sometimes. The characters, on the other hand, are a mixed bag. First of all, I like how Greg is more malicious here than he was in the first one. One of my big problems with the first one was how the roles of Greg and Raleigh felt reversed. With how in that movie Greg feels more like a victim and Raleigh feels more like the jerk. But in here, Greg is back to his usual sociopathic tendencies, and I like that. Because that's the Greg I know. And Rodrick in this, while not being as good as Devin Bostic's portrayal, is still a good character. And now let's talk about the animation, and yeah, still looks cheap. And in some cases, it actually looks even worse than the first one, which I didn't know that could even be possible. But considering that the same studio also worked on The Adventures of Buck Wild, I'm not surprised. So yeah, the new Rodrick Rules movie sucks. It has a pitiful story, even cheaper animation, and mediocre characters. Just skip this movie and just watch the original instead. It's basically the same movie, but way better. 4 out of 10. Has its pros, but the cons far outweigh them. Let's just hope they take more time for the next film in the series. You gotta be kidding me, Disney!